Dialogue has to be open. So again, the first way when you don't have skill is listen. We disagree on certain things. We agree on a lot of other things. We agree that we love shawarma. Let's have shawarma. We agree that we love steak. Let's go out to eat. We don't have to talk about the few things that divide us. But if you can enter the dialogue with these rules and winning the NKN, and when you're done, when you say think about it, you say, can I have a hug? And you have a hug, you can make the person closer to you by arguing. And we all know that whoever learns Gemara, when you're learning with a chavrusa, and over there sometimes you could say negative things, but you're closer to each other. If you hate the person or you think he's stupid, then you got it. That's not Torah. You have to find a different chavrusa. The idea is to focus. I'm going to win the person, not the argument. And I don't have to say you're right. I could say I respectfully disagree, because we know that there's a lot of people that disagree on this. There's a lot of Republicans, there's a lot of liberals, there's a lot of conservatives. We're allowed to disagree and we're allowed to still be related. And I still respect your opinion. Now, you can't say I respect your opinion when he says there's no God. You don't say I respect your opinion. You say, listen, I hear you. Like I told the atheist. He said, there's no God. And he came to debate me. I said, let's understand. I will never prove to you that there's a God, because he's invisible. You will never prove to me that there's not a God, because I'm a Maimon. So why don't we just go eat supper? Why should we waste time? Why should we waste time? You say there's no God. I respect your opinion. I understand that he's invisible, and I understand that a lot of bad things happened. And I hear, and by the way, I want to tell you, we have at least over 50 TP kids in pain, who expressed that they were atheists, there's no God, who are today not atheists. Almost all of them, or maybe even all of them by now, not atheists. What changed? Nothing. Here's the big chiddush. They never got answers for any of their questions. People think, oh, I have to bring you to Arachim, and I have to bring you to this guy and that guy. They're in pain. Take away their pain. Do what the Baal Shem Tov said. Love them more, and because of that, they will leave their kfira. Now, I realized recently, we're talking about an intellectual problem. Intellectual, they're kafir. They're atheists. They don't believe in God. And the Baal Shem Tov's medicine is emotional. Love is emotional. How do you win an intellectual argument with emotions? It's a different realm. Teretz is, it's not intellectual, it's all emotions. Person is hurt, they need love. They need medicine, and medicine is ahava. That's what the Baal Shem Tov said. He didn't say debate them. He didn't say go prove to them. It's very good to go to someone who did not grow up from and is not anti, and Arachim can go and all these Project Inspire and all these things, they can go and they can have a smart rabbi talk to 1,000 professors that are atheists and win. And this 16-year-old from Williamsburg, you can't win because they're not atheists. They don't know anything about Judaism. They just know pain. They don't know anything about it's easy to say. Can't be a God. And they have questions. Where was God in the Holocaust? How do you kill 1 million children, 1 million babies? How come Hashem told us to kill the children of Amalek? And these are good questions, and we also have them, but we're from, because we believe that we don't have to understand. Like the Kotzker Rebbe said, I would never serve a God that I could understand. So we're okay to not understand. They're not okay because they're in pain. Do the love, like the Satmar Rebbe's Chus Yogan Aleinu Divrei Yoel said, and I'll tell you what it means. It means whatever money you give all your other children, give this kid double the money. He should know that you love him. That's Lehav Oisim B'Yosim. And the Chazon Ish said the same thing. Yinasu l'moshcham, bring them in, pull them in, ba'avoisais, ahava. Love, v'loy l'tchoisam chalila, and don't push them away. And Gershon Edelstein's Zatzal, and Chaim Kanievsky's Zatzal, and all Hasidish, Litvish, everybody said the medicine for kfira, the medicine for not being from, the medicine is love, acceptance. Changes the mindset. And I saw it b'chush. I saw it mamish b'chush. How they came in, angry and fire. A kid had a Rosh Hashanah Machzor. He said, "I'm going to urinate on it." Rachmana litzlan. Today, he's married. He's from. His children are. He just. I saw him. He made. When I saw him a couple of years ago, he already made his second bris. He has like 3 kids, 4 kids in regular yeshiva schools. What happened? Love, acceptance. Nothing up here. No fighting. Nothing up here. It's all over here. So this is what we do while we're debating. We're just looking for love. So he says something, even though we don't agree with him. You're so smart. That's genius. Let me think about it. You know what? But I heard. What about this? What about this? I can understand your questions on that. I can't answer. Like I had a kid, one of the first kids at Home Sweet Home, sitting in my dining room. I just opened up. I was a 30-year-old. He was cursing Hashem. Hashem and Malchus. Mamish like FUCKGOD. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, what in the world am I supposed to? I have no training. And when he finished, Hashem gave me Siyata D'Shmaya. I told him, I said, I think since Avram Avinu, there was no bigger maimon than you. Nobody ever believed in God as much as you since Avram Avinu. So he looks at me, what? I said, you went through a lot of pain. And you really did. And you really believe in God. And you really believe in Ashkata Pratis. You believe that God determined and decided that he pulled the trigger to ruin your life. And that's why you're in pain. That's why you're cursing. Makes a lot of sense. He looked at me, he said, I never looked at it that way. Yeah. And within a year, he was Shemei Torah mitzvahs. He didn't have any answers on the Holocaust. He didn't have any answers on his own pain, why he was molested at 8 years old, why he was thrown out of his house after he was being beaten, and he lived on a train, and he lived on a truck. You don't need answers. There are no answers. You give sympathy and empathy, and you boost, and you say, my brother, I'm with you. We'll end with this. Amazing Zohar HaKadosh, I say it all the time. He took off time from learning, Bittul Torah, right? But you're allowed to do it. Took off time from learning to visit the sick. He sees a sick person. The person, it says, had stomach pain, which was so bad that he was cursing Hashem. Zohar HaKadosh, Shimon Bar Yochai, is hearing somebody curse God. So he goes over to him and he says to him, why are you cursing God? Why don't you pray to him to heal you? In other words, if you're cursing Hashem, means you believe in it. You believe it in Hashem, and you believe that he's causing you this pain. So you're cursing him. Same story as the Home Sweet Home boy. I just didn't know the Zohar HaKadosh then. So you believe in Hashem, and that's why you're cursing him, for your pain. But if you believe in him, why don't you pray to him to take away your pain? So the man tells Shimon Bar Yochai, you're right. I pray to Hashem, I daven to Hashem to take away my pain and to give it to you. Shimon Bar Yochai says, you're right. I should have stayed in Beis Medrash. I should have stayed and learned. It was Bittul Torah. Because why did I leave learning? To go ahead and make people who are sick feel better, not to get them upset and to judge them and to tell them what I would do if I were you. To tell people who are in pain how they should act. Oh, how could you say that? Don't say that. Don't talk like that. This is their reality. They feel that Hashem turned their back on them. They said, Shakai Shmeni Matzalini Mikol Ra, and we can't understand why, but again, they had problems and they said it 1,000 times and Hashem did not. In Hashem's wisdom, and it's easy for us to say, but you're not allowed to say like the Baal Shem Tov, you're supposed to be a kaifer on somebody else's problems. When it comes to yourself, you say Gam Zu L'Tov. When it comes to somebody else, you should be a kaifer. He prayed to Hashem. please make that the guy should stop molesting me. And Hashem didn't listen. Hashem could have made the guy stop, could have made the guy do tshuva, could have made the parents move of that family, could have made his father stop beating him up, could have made him that he should get the help that he needed. He shouldn't live on a train. He prayed a lot before he gave up. Now he does every Yom Kippur, he does a tainis dibur to make up for the Yom Kippurs that he broke. So I'm gonna judge him. I'm gonna judge him. But I think the message, I think it's pashut, but it's a little bit deeper. The man told Reb Shimon bar Yochai, I daven to Hashem to take away my pain and to give it to you. Why? To give it to you. I think his message was, and then we'll see how you preach high and holy, Reb Shimon bar Yochai. Let's see how you do. You're looking down at me, but what if you went through all my pain? Maybe you'd be worse than me. Maybe you'd also be cursing God. That's the way we have to look when we hear somebody cursing Hashem or not keeping Shabbos. We have to say, if we had their pain, we would be worse than them. How do we know that we would be better? Are we asking in the next Gilgal, Hashem, let me come down and go through what this person went through? Chas v'shalom, about not. We don't want their pain. We don't want their nisyonos, so don't judge them. And through all of this understanding, when we have this humbleness and this anava, we can engage in conversation. In each conversation, we're boosting the NKN. We're complimenting. We're making jokes. We're lightening it up. We're showing them, yeah, I hear you. I understand you. Let me think about it. Let me see, go back to you. And then he's going to slug you up. And you can stretch it out for 6 months, a year, and you're stretching out hours and hours of interaction, which we want interaction, instead of the first way, which is just shutting it down and looking for other ways to interact. The real skill is to be able to interact and to say, you know what, let's go through this. And eventually, with your love and your fun, they'll be very open. I used to walk around in Home Sweet Home with my Sefer Nesiv Shalom and never said to them, let's learn. And when they got healthy and they saw I'm non-judgmental, they all, most of them, came over to me and said, can we learn? And I used to learn with them privately. So they wanted to hear, but as long as they don't want, there's no reason to talk. I hope I answered your question, and I hope it's very clear.